In the wake of recent events, there has been a lot of talk about gun regulation from both sides of the spectrum. President Barack Obama and other Democrats have proposed policies to address background checks in the private market, and the popular assault weapons ban that has recently been removed from the bill in order to preserve the rest of the proposed legislation. The organizations that are directly opposing them are against any extended background checks and, for the most part, any other changes that may affect current gun owners. Two pro-gun organizations most commonly associated with these views are the National Rifle Association, the NRA, and the National Association for Gun Rights, the NAGR. All arguments from these organizations are based on the Second Amendment in the Bill of Rights, which state we have the right to, quote, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, end quote. Speculation and any additional regulations would eventually lead to an overall gun ban, set forth a campaign for rights to guns and the means of self-defense. The powerful ads illustrate the importance of the right to the Second Amendment. Both the arguing sides on gun control have good arguments, but are misguided. The assault weapons ban proposed by Democrats and backed by the White House attempted to eliminate a deadly firearm. But Riddell and Decker pointed out in an article that the firearm is only used in about 1.5% of all crimes. The .223 AR is shown, and other assault-style weapons are only targeted for their aggressive look. In reality, all these rifles are a dressed-up version of a similar rifle. The rifle above is the same dressed-down .223 caliber rifle that is commonly used for eliminating predators that threaten cattle on ranches. The AR version has been argued to be an important self-defense tool and has been proven to do exactly that. In Inkster, Michigan, a security guard used a .223 caliber assault rifle in self-defense.
An easy target isn't so easy when a guard comes out with a gun bigger than the perps.
The man and woman can be seen attempting to rob the Inkster tax preparation business after ignoring the security vehicle parked out front of the business. The security guard grabs the AR-223 after taking a bullet to the leg and successfully defends himself and others within the building, scaring off the couple. The next video takes place in Houston, Texas.
At home with his 12-year-old sister when burglars try to break in.
That's when investigators say the boy grabbed his dad's assault rifle and started shooting, and he hit one of the men repeatedly.
Anxious family and friends crossed the yellow tape into a surreal crime scene. A 15-year-old boy and his 12-year-old sister had been home alone in the Mount Royal Village subdivision. Then about 2:30, a pair of home invaders tried the front and back doors, then broke a back window.
A young boy was protecting his sister. You know, he was in fear for his life and for his sister's life.
Both videos support the idea that banning any one gun is a misguided approach to gun control. And on a similar note, in some cases, if the magazine limit was 30 rounds, the victim may not be around to tell their story. Great legislation would stay focused in the area of background checks. Yearly, gun shows are held and legally are able to sell guns without background checks. In the secondary market, or the market after the gun is purchased from a retailer, background checks are not required. This allows anyone with the interest in owning a gun, regardless of their intent to buy one or several of them. Gun trafficking may also result because the legal buyer can sell as he or she pleases to anyone with the cash to purchase the firearm. The FBI looked into the issue of the firearm retailers selling guns to a buyer with false identification. Robert Hass describes one of the many purchases in his letter to a congressman. An undercover agent was able to purchase a semi-automatic pistol from a New Mexico pawn shop and bought ammunition based on the salesperson's statement that it was the best ammunition he had in stock to penetrate a bulletproof vest similar to those worn by police officers. Robert Hass also demonstrated the simplicity of buying a firearm in the private market when the only question a seller asked an agent was if he was a criminal. When the agent said no, he was able to purchase the firearm. Background checks should be extended to address the private market. The biggest area of gun control as overlooked by legislation is firearm education. A very effective poster the NAGR put out shows Senator Feinstein, a gun grabber, holding a firearm with her finger on the trigger and the action of the firearm closed. Although designed as a political ad, this picture shows exactly how important gun education is. Ask to see a firearm in any reputable dealer, and they will open the action, show it is unloaded, and hand it to you. In the state of Oregon, a child is allowed to big game hunt at the age of 13 after taking a hunter education course. The previous lesson on showing firearms is one of the first lessons taught within the course. From a young age, hunters are taught how to safely handle firearms, so why can't the rest of the population do the same? The following images show the numerous locks that are out to store firearms safely. The safe storage of firearms keeps unwanted users from operating the gun. For those who argue that in a self-defense situation these locks hinder one's ability to defend themselves, there are quick biometric unlocking safes like this one. Safety through gun education can help attack the problem at the source. You have seen how eliminating a specific firearm or limiting rounds in a magazine does not solve the problem. You have seen how the proper expansion of background checks can help address the issue of guns legally ending up in the wrong hands. And you have seen how gun education could work to lower unnecessary deaths from generation to generation. It is time to point gun control in the right direction.
It all started late on a Saturday night. Said who's got this bitch and who's got the bomb.